Navigating work life in a small RV space can be a little difficult, but today I'm going to show you what I'm using for my office, how I make it work for me, and my brand new upgrade that changes everything. Let's start with showing you what I currently have and why it works for me so far. So as you can see, I do have a Mac and I have elevated and put it on a stand. And I did this for a few reasons. One, because I sit here for, up to 12, 14 hours a day, editing videos, talking to you guys on comments, emails, and all that stuff. And it was really important for me to put the computer eye level so I'm not looking down all the time. So when you're sitting in your desk, as long as you are, if you're working all day, it's really important to have your body aligned correctly. That way it, doesn't lead to injury, even carpal tunnel or anything like that. So it was really important to get my computer eye level for me. And that enabled it to do that. The next thing we needed to do is have a cordless mouse and keyboard because now it's all elevated and not practical to type. So we upgraded and purchased these. They'll attach to your computer. They're cordless. You can charge them every now and then, and they really last a long time. You'll be surprised how much life are in these. So another good thing about elevating my computer is making sure my wrists are in the proper position. Whenever I'm working, my computer is much closer to me, and that's because I wear contacts. One side is for reading, so there is a measurement that I have where my computer needs to be a certain distance in order for those contacts to be optimal. So for me, when I go to type and I pull my computer where it needs to be so I can see well, as you can see, it really, let me move this out of the way, it really is poor positioning for my wrists and typing. So it can really lead to injury, carpal tunnel syndrome, pain, and all that. So I really want it to be optimal. So now I can move this here and I type this way and I have plenty of room for my wrist to align properly and not to put any stress on my elbows at the same time. So this makes it really easy for me to type and get my work done while I'm sitting properly. Now, one other thing we added was this back cushion, which I put back there. And this really is to push me forward and help me to sit up straight. I was finding that I was slumping, my back would ache at the end of the day. So this has really made a huge difference for me. Now, it's not something that everyone may need. As you guys may know, I am a little short. So these cushions are a little deep for me. So this pushes me forward, helps me sit up straight, and helps me stay in proper alignment while I'm working here at my desk. Now this has really worked well for us, or I should say for me, and I really like it. A really cool feature of this stand is the fact that it will come apart for storage. So when I'm driving down the road, I will take this apart. It goes in the cabinets. And I just use my laptop when we're driving down the road without these items. So they don't take up a lot of space when they're not in use. Now, just some little tips on tools that I also use. I do have these card readers that attach to the computer. This really helps me when we're downloading video. It has HDMI. I can hook up pretty much anything to these, so these are always handy. I also have my drives, and this one is connected. So I really work 100% off this drive. So this drive is what I use. This is my working drive. So it is 2 terabytes. So all of my work goes on here, any documents, anything I go to all the time. I don't store anything on my computer or anything long-term on this drive. It really keeps it clean and helps speed up our processing. I also have raw footage on here, and then I will, once it becomes a video, I start a file, and then from here, I transfer everything that is completed to our NAS. It's connected straight through our network, so I can sit here and pull and move and transfer files all I want to without more cables and more actual drives. So I just recently upgraded from 16 terabytes to just over 40 terabytes for storage, and it is really convenient. I love this NAS because if one of the drives goes bad, I can still keep my data. Like, it will rewrite it for me the way it writes on all of these drives back and forth. So it really makes it convenient, and I don't worry about losing a drive or losing data. The only thing I recommend is if you're using a NAS while you're in the RV is to make sure you turn it off before you drive down the road, because it is turning and spinning like a record player, let's just say, and you don't want it to get off kilter. You don't want it to mess up while you're driving down the road. So always turn it off and then turn it back on when you get to your next location. Now, a second backup that I have are these drives, and each drive has a year of data on there. So all our videos, everything is on here, and each one is a different year. So you can pick these up. They're not that expensive depending on what size you need. You can get 1 terabyte and on up. So this is what I'm using for our other backup. And of course, my other staple that I cannot work without are my headphones. And I've gone through several different versions of these, from the buds to the over the ear, and these have been the ones I've landed on. These are the Beats, and I like these the most because they also connect to my cell phone. And when I connect them to my cell phone, I don't always have to go all the way to settings to get it to turn back on. And it also, when somebody texts you, it'll actually read the text and play in your ear. So this is why I ended up going to Beats over some of the other ones. But any headphones you have will work well if you're trying to get some work done without disturbing your partner. All right, before we go any further, let's go ahead and say what this is. I got questions about this before. Our cover, you can see here, it is my grandson Walker. Phil got this for me for Christmas. So yes, you can get these. I believe you got it on Amazon. I will have links for everything down below. Are you ready to see what we're upgrading to? All right, come on, I can't wait to show you. Whoa, check it out. So this is what I'll be making our videos on now. This bad boy is 34 inches. So I am stepping away from that little baby screen and I'm going to hook it up to this monitor. So I saw this monitor, a couple of people have something like this, and we finally figured out it is doable. So Chad and Tara from Changing Lanes, they have a similar setup, and then some friends that we were staying with have something like this in their RV, and she works full-time from home. She has her own business. So I was like, okay, it's doable. So let me show you how this will get put together. This desk mount is what makes it all possible. This is going to clamp onto our dining table and it's going to turn it into a Mac Daddy office. Now this mount will hold up to 20 pounds and it's very simple to clip onto the table. So let's go ahead and do it. Now I am going to use a little block here, a shim, because this table has a lip on it and we really need this mount to bite. So this is going to latch onto the block under here. All right, so this should be pretty simple. Phil already has it mostly ready for me with the cables run through the arm. So let's see if we can't get it latched over here. All right, it's mounted on the desk. Now we just have to put the monitor on the mount. One of the good things about this mount is it has a quick release, so we can remove the monitor if we want to, or if we're going somewhere, or if we have company, we want to get rid of it altogether. So I should be able to do this without Phil's help. So let's see if we can. All right, just push it down and it should go right in here and click. All right, perfect. And you can see it's all coming together. Now that the monitor is connected to the arm, let's hook it up to our laptop so we can actually use it. This is really simple. So it comes with 2 cords. One is an HDMI, so let's hook that in. Trying not to get fingerprints on the monitor. All right, and then our power, so let's plug that in. All right, so all the cables run through the arm and they are here tucked out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in my power. And this is your HDMI cord, and this goes right to your computer. So in order for this to hook up to my laptop, I do have to have this adapter, and this is one of the ones I was talking about earlier that I use for my card reader. It also has a HDMI at the end. So let's go ahead and plug this in. And now it's ready to hook up to my computer. Let me just show you a few features of this arm that I really like. It does raise and lower, as you can see, so it is completely adjustable to your height as you're viewing it, and I can move it out of the way. So let's raise it, and we are totally going to get it out of the way. So if we want to use this table for something other than an office, like dinner, or if we want to play games or whatever, card games, now it's out of the way without me having to completely take it down. But that being said, you saw how easy it was for me to put it here on the table. So if we want to take it down for game night with our friends, because we do that in the RV a lot too, we can completely remove it very easily, and I can lay it on the bed. Now let's talk about what we're going to do for travel. We are still deciding how we're traveling with the monitor. We aren't going to take it down. We are going to either put it over on the side like this, or we are going to put a towel down on the table, or a pillow or blanket, something soft, and I'm going to flip it, and we are just going to lay it flat on the table. I would feel much more comfortable than it wiggling and jiggling as we go down the road. So that is our plan for travel. So let's go ahead and hook it up to my computer so I can show you the that I've been experiencing since I got this monitor. All right, let's get this all hooked up to my computer. The first thing I'm going to need to do is move my 2 terabyte drive to the other side of my computer, so the monitor will have easy access on this side. So let's move this over here. Now, I could obviously hook all this up without connecting this 2 terabyte drive, but this is my lifeline. It's always hooked up, so I might as well do how I would normally do it. Now I'm hooking up the monitor, the HDMI, which is hooked into this adapter, right into the side port, and let's see if we can get her to come on. Power it up. And voila! Look at that screen. Isn't that cool? And the best thing is, if you're working in clamshell mode, you can just close your computer and everything is here. So I can move this computer out of the way. And we do have a stand that we've ordered, and we will actually be standing this up under the table. So it's going to completely be off my table while I work. So now you can pull forward, you can push it back, you can decide how high you need it when you're working with this monitor and the stand, which is what I really like. So now I can come over and I can do, whatever I need to do. We can, go do editing or whatever you need to do on your computer. So it really has been a game changer for me for editing videos. It's really cool. I use Final Cut Pro for all of my editing, for those of you who don't know, and then now I can actually have a second screen open here if I want to go through, if I'm looking for files or anything like that. So it makes it really handy. So some of the things that I use a lot of in our editing is I use Final Cut Pro. I have Airtable, which is a killer database that we have for all of our videos, and that includes the links to the video to YouTube, any links in the description. It includes a lot of info that we use, so it's a great way for me to stay organized. And then the other way I stay organized, of course, is with the files with the NAS. So that has been really handy for storage. So for our storage, I just come up here to our network, click on here, and you can see the network is totally going to open, and I have all our footage sorted by year. It makes it really simple that way, and then each year sorted by a month, and then that month is sorted by the video and when it went out. So it makes it very easy for us to stay organized. I can find footage easily that way, and really everything is all connected. Alright guys, that's it for our upgrade on the office. I am loving my new monitor. I would love to know how you guys are making it work in your small space. So if you are working from your RV, whether full-time, part-time, occasionally, let me know how you're making it work for you, because we could all use some hints to make, things a little easier when you're sitting at the desk all day long.